5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
Same annoying, yeah. Small movement speed bonus on the early levels, which is nice for chasing, I suppose, but the taser wasn't exactly core on the, how do I say, core to his functioning already.
Some
The
changes here and
silence going
there.
to come in, like, the silence going to come in really huge versus the Morphling, though.
And Morphling usually has a pretty low HP pool, just relies on lifesteal with the usual early Morbid Mask. Techie is placed up in the lane, or at least chasing around the Morphling wherever he's going to be around on the map, is going to be a huge threat for Lilgun. Like you said, the silence is really good. Morphling has to be very quick with Strength Morph. And I feel like if I'm sitting into the driver's seat of playing a Morphling this game, like, you are a bit nervous as well, because you have to be on point. So this can lead into Morphling being either making very aggressive plays, very defensive positioning, but you're not going to have like a regular Morphling game until you know you're safe enough to actually dominate SMG's heroes.
Yes. So probably sitting back a bit more, like everybody can come out of the woodworks immediately to murder you. And this Winter Wyvern pick, I think you got one of your requests fulfilled just now, because this looks like a possible core Winter Wyvern to me here, unless we're upgrading the Marcy.
Wyvern does set in pretty nicely. It's also a good Brood counter too, so this is making Brood's game very difficult. But Brood is also really good against Wyvern until pre-curse.
Yes.
It's like a free kill to hunt.
Absolutely. And the laning stage just eats the Wyvern pretty much alive. Well, I mean, you don't have the spiders for that long before the Wyvern gets her own 6, of course. But first the Morphling as well, right? Goes full agi. It's like, hi, I did the calculations. You can't nuke me. It's like, sure, but you can nuke your teammates, which is where the Bane comes in.
Yeah. SMG strikes me as a team that could play Marcy carry. But then this Bane also gets amplified if that is the course they want to take, because Bane is already fantastic against the Pango. Pango's also good against the Bane, but Bane is really good for locking down Pangolier. He's also good at holding the Marcy on the spot.
Yep. Bane is the best versus solo initiators, though. So, like, think your instant jumping spirits, for example. Whereas having 2 people come at you, like both the Pangolier as well as the Marcy with a Winter Wyvern on the back, it's getting harder. I see the function, especially the saving function here for the Bane, but if they're just running at Lilgun with 2 or 3 initiator, like heroes that cross the distance well, like Marcy, like Pangolier, Bane kind of just gets eaten. Doesn't deal with crowds so good.
Yeah. Positioning on Bane is pretty crucial this game, to be able to land your abilities at the right time, at the right place. And indeed, leave the place as well. SMG don't want the Pudge to go through. Pudge Morphling Brood drafts, like, ugh. Someone might say draft of dreams, but then you're like, is that really a draft of dreams? It's like, ugh.
A draft of nightmares, maybe that's what the Bane is for.
Probably, yeah. SMG will have to pick first before Lilgun, though. Lilgun most likely missing either the offlane or the carry, depending how they want to set this Brood Mother and the Morphling. Morphling could still go safe lane. Brood could also go mid if they want to get a good matchup for themselves. The Pango can be a bit rough to play against. But SMG, depending what kind of carry pick they want to go for, would also decide, is this Marcy going to stick as a support? Do they want to put Wyvern as core? Well, looks like they're both going to be put into different roles, as the Slark is going to come out for SMG. I'm not a big Slark enjoyer, but this is a good Slark game.
Yes. Very much so. Like, the Dark Pack is going to take off anything that Lilgun can throw at him here. They don't have any good instant stuns to avoid him getting that off. Lots of long cast animations here. He matches up perfectly fine versus the Morphling. Especially in those longer fights, where he's going to stack up all of that delicious agi that the Morphling will be sorely missing. So yeah, great pick.
For the mid pick up here, the Void Spirit for Sanctity, and 4-2-3 with the carry Morphling, 11 for the offlane Brood as it stands. MKS will be playing the carry role here. So mid one off to the offlane.
Excellent. I mean, I was a winner here no matter what. But I am very much looking forward to seeing mid one unleash some of his old,
Unleash
shall we
indeed.
say, yeah, more psychopathic tendencies. Because this man is a aggressive murderer if you let him be, and if he feels the flow. Let's see if he can bring that this game.
Pretty solid Marcy game to play as a core as well because of the Broodmother in the pool. The matchup against the Morphling in the lane could look at a very fast BKB timer into the Basher. That's the build that I want to see Marcy go for, the BKB Basher build, and just become the carry. MKS can then just secure the late game for SMG. But for Lilgun's sake, Broodmother is going to have a bit of a rough time just at the start of the laning stage. It will get better as soon as she hits level 6. That's kind of like a warning sign for the Slark to move away from that safe lane. Allow this Brood to farm up. Does Brood go for the Orchid build? Does he want to go for something different in between? This is also a pretty decent pipe game as well to cover up all those spiders, soak up the potential diffusal damage from the Pango, if Pango goes for the diffusal build, which is very likely. So there are these small quirks that kind of kick in on how how Lilgun is going to exit the laning stage. Like, that is where it matters the most.
Yeah, like the Brood itemization can follow one of two very distinct paths. We can see either the area controlling teamfight Brood, or we can see the big farming monster, Orchid, BKB, core, fighting Brood. And that is going to determine a lot of the momentum for Lilgun's side and like what their playstyle is going to be, because the itemization for their other two cores doesn't really switch that much. We're going to most likely see a Manta into a Skadi on that Morphling, and we're going to most likely see either Witchblade or Eels, but I think it's going to be Witchblade on Sanctity.
Some of the records for the tournament so far, as we're basically, if I understood correct, we're closing up on, well, we are at the halfway mark of the group stages, basically. If the round robin is going to be closing out on the October 2nd, with SMG playing almost 2 or 1 series every single day. Ace 12 from Lilgun. He's got the most caps stacked in a singular game and the most obs wards placed in a singular game, as Actity is already getting jumped on by mid one and Afu for some early poke, forcing him away from the bounty runes, making it 3 for SMG to kick the game off.
That's quite a bunch of damage to take so early in your lane versus a Pangolier, who is going to add a lot more damage to that. Probably going to see shield crash out of Moon as well for securing the range creeps.
Probably also a matchup for Moon where he doesn't need to level up Lucky Shot. Like, there's some games where you might see a level 4, level 5, 1 point being added. This does seem like he just wants to go for the full-on swashbuckle with the Orb of Corrosion that he's lined up, max out that damage output, and then the shield crash will for some extra security, and especially for that Rolling Thunder rotation at some point of the game.
Yep, the Orb of Corrosion really becomes important once he starts chasing people over on the longer side lanes. In the mid lane, it's HP.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, a Grandmaster Broodmother 11 versus the stand-in MKS. From Resurgence, standing in for Ice. So, where mid one would most likely be the carry, and Ice would have been off lane. Mid one goes to the off lane, as he has done so before. And this time the stand-in doesn't go to the off lane, and stand-in goes straight to the carry role. So I believe they do have some prior experience with the lad. Having the comfort of you play your comfort heroes, and we play around you.
Yeah, I mean, it's also more easy to just switch out the positioning of the player that you're familiar with versus the one that isn't.
Sometimes you do see that if they're like, but that's, I think, more of a East Europe thing, where you know that this guy is adaptable, and we can put him into a different role because we've had past scrims or a lot of pub experience with always the same players on the same server. So
yeah. Listen, my theory is just that mid one was like, Nah, I want to play offlane.
Yeah.
Get a carry guy. Stand in.
I mean, quad gauntlets Marcy into the offlane. This guy's got
Hell
1,000 HP at level 2, so bring it.
As I said, he might go full psychopath, and I'm here for it. And this is a good start.
What a time to be alive.
Top lane.
First blood onto MKS does take place. That's a bit of a surprising beginning in terms of the Brood, but not for the Snapfire. Snap level 2 is deadly indeed, and Slark does end up getting caught. Making that a first for Lilgun. It is going for Kishka. So the Brood would have loved to have that early kill, but I mean, it could have been better, but it's still a very good kill.
Yeah, a Brood really benefiting out of like Zir melee matchup.
Oh, they want a
MKS
revenge
cannot
kill.
trade.
They want the revenge on this, and
They're gonna
Snapfire.
get it.
They'll only leave it for MKS, of course. If he has the chance to pounce in for the last right click, he'll take it.
And he should. He can use all of the help he can get. Because as you said at the start, this lane is going to go south quickly once the Broodmother hits 6. They can't hold it for a while. There's just no way unless you bring the Pangolier top. And if you do that, then you lose a lot of his rotational capabilities. So this Brood, anything that MKS can scrape out against her right now is a welcome bonus.
Yeah. Also, what I was a bit worried about there was the trade-off that they took in the top lane. Like, killing MKS was a really good kill, even if it wasn't going for the Brood. But they basically left the lane to get the Snapfire kill. It's a stack for Slark, yes, but Broodmother got a solo lane for himself with nobody to contest him, with no XP given away. And that pushes him closer to level 6, which means Slark is going to be in trouble much quicker because of that. Like, that kill can be worth for a little bit, but they should really be focusing on this Broodmother. They're just not getting the chances for it, which kind of hurts them.
I don't think they can anymore. Like, the Slark can't trade versus the Insatiable Hunger, and Winter Wyvern is not that strong of a laning hero. He is getting occupied by Kishka right now.
Moon hasn't lined up any other items yet except for the basic stats to kick things off with. Sanctity is going to take some very early damage from Moon here. Level 5, 3-point Swashbuckle, 2-point Shield Crash, and as said, no lucky shot points bringed up. When we look at the Broodmother, Orchid is the name of the game.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
Ace
not a
Knight
good game.
dies. Afu doesn't want to jump for the suicide jump that deep in. That might lead into a 4-2-3 getting a kill.
This Broodmother smells a strong start, smells a core roll for herself, and smells some really nice kills over on the Winter Wyverns and techies of this world.
They're going to jump onto the Snapfire. A lot of damage here. This is the kill that they can look for, but the Brood is going to turn around for a quick trade onto MKS. And heavy punishment is applied right away. Kishka does get to salve himself up.
The Brood herself, between the Insatiable Hunger as well as the small buff to the... actually, I say small buff, it's a pretty significant buff to the health regen. I think that is why the Broodmother got picked here as well. Like, either they kill her or they need to keep the harassment up, but they simply can't. Look at that damage! Like, MKS...
I was just looking up how much did Brood actually get from that. But it is, yeah, it is plus 2 HP regen per level, so it is now 5, 7, 9, 11. Giving him so much more sustainability in this lane. Plus the headrest from the Snapfire. Catching a lone Winter Wyvern, well, that's very enjoyable for 11.
And it will only get better.
Afu loading up the silence, but Ace already jumps with the Nightmare. Nice nuke kicking in. Waveform is available. Is he going to use it to dodge the Mind Bomb? Not really.
Stop you.
The Mind Bomb. What?
Yes, the bomb explosion.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like...
The
yeah, I was
nuke
like,
dynamite.
It feels like one of those tar grenades, which you just kind of you throw it
you
onto
slap on something.
you throw it onto the tracks of a tank or something. It feels like that. But it is the
And
sticky
speaking
bomb. It is the sticky
from
bomb.
experience
MKS no
there, by the
dark
way.
pack. He's got the pounce to safety though, but they're going to chase him all the way to the tree line, and MKS is going to go down. That's a huge pick off here for the side of Lilgun, punishing MKS's Slark again. 2 deaths now. Very, very good pick for Lilgun.
And this top lane goes into damage control now.
It's
Damage
level
control
6 on Brood in just a minute. This
Yep.
wave is going to secure it.
So here's your choice, SMG. Are you gonna like try to stop the Brood on top and divert attention to there, or are you gonna play with Moon towards bot lane?
Oh, by the looks of it, they want to finish off the Bane, which they will be able to do. 4-2-3. Can't squeeze in between. Meanwhile, 11 is actually in trouble right now. He did hit that level 6, but defenseless currently. He's trying to move around the trees in the pounce, but the leash is too strong, and they hunt him down. Broodmother Pest Control has struck.
He got very overconfident there. Did you see if the hunger was on cooldown?
The hunger was on, but it was basically just two heroes pummeling him around back and forth, and can't still be the 2v1 if he doesn't have those spiderlings up. So that is an opportunity to jump him. If they left him with those spiderlings to, you know, create his army, no chance you get him. But if he doesn't have them up, that was a prime opportunity to just grab him.
And grab him they did. And now they can leave MKS here, and he has the regen from the Shadow Dance now. It might enable him to stay in lane for a little bit longer.
It is a salvaging kill for sure. Like, he doesn't need to completely abandon the lane. I don't think that was ever the case. But Brood, when he starts to ramp up, will make things much more difficult. Sanctity getting slowed up quite a lot, but the action rune does go for Moon.
Oh, and they are smoking to top. Die has been cast. We are stopping off 11. Techie's showing big
Look at the
timing.
spider spreading. He's getting vision from everywhere. Now they're turning attention to it. Well, they will get themselves a Techie's kill in the mid lane thanks to Ace rotating in, but the tower's about to drop. It is in deny range.
Dire's top tower has been denied.
And it was denied. It just doesn't show anywhere in spectator settings. Like, wait, who got it? Doesn't show anywhere? But
Moon got it.
And Rolling Thunder from Moon almost goes for Sanctity. Forced to jump away with the Astral Step. So, yeah, might as well take a look at net worth, as SMG doing pretty healthy here, even if the Broodmother is having a great start for his game. That was kind of expected. The difference is showing with Slark having actually quite a good game at the current pace. 3,800 net worth compared to 31 on the Morphling.
Very surprising, actually, but MKS really recovering well, especially with the extra hits into the jungle. And the Morph has now also been forced back out by this Marcy, who has also hit level 6.
Yep. And now starts the crucial Orchid farming time, basically, for this Broodmother. Needs to hit that timing optimal. That's where the strength of this hero lies. It is the Orchid timing. You either stomp or you fall flat.
Exactly. He decided that this game was good enough for the Orchid Rush, so we are going for it. And then mid one, of course, is going for that BKB. Making pretty much the same pace as the Broodmother right now for that activating item. A little bit faster, in fact. And it's these two heroes that are going to start really moving the game. Well, that, and I want to see level 6 on Pelosin, who's currently getting some attention in mid.
Chased up. Astral Step 1 used. There's a second one available. Apu tries to get the sticky bomb to connect, but doesn't quite hit onto Sanctity. Moon has already dropped this tower pretty low, down to 560. Only a third of its HP remaining. Brood right in front of the tier 2 tower, which they are keeping an eye open for. MKS wants to quickly dive in for that, and they get the catch onto the Pango, and this could lead into a kill if only they had Brain Snap. And now Marcy's coming in as well. They need to clear out this kill quickly, and it's not gonna happen so fast as they were hoping. But here comes 11. The rescue party has arrived, but mid one with the Unleash, almost clearing out every single spider, and they will kill off Sanctity. Important trade-off. The curse connects as well. 11 is stuck, and here comes more backup as they want the Slark into this action. 11 trying to go for the runaway as Kishka is sacked. And SMG, man, that was so close. That was so close to being a difficult challenge for them to fight against, but they keep their heroes alive just long enough to get the reinforcements in and turn it into a favorable 3-1 trade.
Yep, that max sidekick from mid one did everything there. The fact that Moon lives as long as he does means that Lilgun has to extend that engagement. And once the kills start rolling in, yeah, Pelosin hits that 6 because he's been sapping EXP mid all that time, and they get to turnaround. That is huge.
It's just, this is the build that I'm really happy to see the Marcy go for, with maxing out sidekick into the Unleash, playing as a 3. Because the damage output is very good. It is great against the Broodmother spiders. It is good against any hero in the game currently. And looking for a jump with Afu. Afu could go for the silence here to follow it up, and the minefield sign is placed down. There's the silence to cancel the Fiend's Grip, and here comes 11. They will take down Afu. They will finish off mid one in a matter of seconds. Spiderlings will do the job, and Moon, his Rolling
Moon's
Thunder's
getting
ended, and
nothing.
he's just going to end up in the hands of Lilgun. Does manage to get some damage out. He will look for the bounty rune to secure it for himself. Pops it just before he dies. His defusal gets slowed down by a little bit. But this is also another kill going in the favor of the Broodmother, and a piece closer towards Orchid.
Yeah, and that's going alone versus a Bane. That's what's going to happen. Absolute no defense. I loved seeing both the Snapfire as well as the techies wiggle for their jump at the exact same time.
Yep. Oh, Curse just come out. Just to buy a bit of time. The spiders do a decent amount of damage, and now they need the backup. And here's the Mortimer's Kisses, reinforcing 11. He's got the Orchid on the Courier. But there's a lot of SMG reinforcements in here, and Ace has to run away. He tries to dodge some of the damage, but he's just going to sack himself with the Nightmare. Will give his life away. 11 gets to live, so I guess that's a good death.
Guess that's a good death, yeah. But the Broodmother has not been stopped off, and that's also space for the Morphling. I guess it's also space for the Slug.
It is space for the Slark. Like, MKS has been farming this entire time and catching up with the pace of the game pretty well.
Bottom tower under fire.
But it still feels reactive if you're not getting more kills than just a Bane.
Double defusal as well for SMG. Like, not just the Panga, but also the Slark. They really want to diminish the capabilities of most of these heroes on the side of Lilgun, but just burning out their mana and forcing them to retreat because they don't have any spells left to cast. Well, they are smoking up Vision in the triangle. Afu is there, but they can get themselves a Wyvern. Not the optimal target, but a kill nevertheless. But in the mid lane, they're going to be jumping the Morphling. Morphling down to 500, but he does get the Strength Morph out as the stuns aren't there. And there's the Rolling Thunder, the cookie save onto the high ground. The Brood is coming in. Slark is dead, murdered by the spiders. Sanctity with the double kill, and this opens up the mid-tier 1 tower up for grabs. Nothing to cancel them here. Moon is hiding in the trees. We'll be able to clear out all the spiders, but a beautiful scatter blast coming in. Afu takes down Ace. And Moon to drop as well, making 11 get another kill for himself, but the curse is up, and he will pop it right away. Splinter Blast almost takes down the Morphling. Afu getting hunted down by Sanctity. Mid one with the jump and unleashing hell on top of these two. And that's what you want to see from mid one with the Marcy, and BKB is now on the Courier. It's on its way. Mid one, tumbling towards the high ground, but Sanctity and Kishka are already into safety. So it is a 3-for-2 trade for SMG in the end. Paulison gets the TP in. He's respawned with the curse, and then we get Marcy action.
Yeah, like in what way? The problem is just that this is really not the way that it should be happening. The reaction should be forced on the Marcy, and then Moon and MKS clean up, instead of the other way around, where Moon and MKS get hopelessly squished, and then mid one cleans up. I mean, to be fair, if anybody is going to deal well with being overfarmed as an offlaner, it's him. He'll put that money to good use, but the coordination is lacking, shall we say.
Yeah. I'm also looking at the itemization choices, like Morphling, pretty standard build. What I would like to see is Yasha, but he is going straight for the Manta at least. Needs to have the capability of removing the silence if the situation were at hand, until he finishes the Ags, and then Sanctity going for Ags. That's when, if Bane finds a target to jump on, he can at least locate the techies, the silence with the Resonant Pulse to keep that Fiend's Grip running a little bit longer. That might also help the 11 Brood. Oh, look at that. Mortimer's Kiss. Is MKS already going to die? Yep, he is. Paulison thought he might have actually saved his buddy, but he can't. Afu down. 11, another kill for him. Wyvern getting chased. The curse is there, but no one to curse. They will find Sanctity. Yules is there, though. Fiend's Grip used as well. Rolling Thunder for the kill. Mid one in trouble. That's a big kill. But the BKB comes out. Unleashed will be popped as well. Mid one moving around. Nimbly getting some damage out as well. Getting the jump out as well to go onto the Snapfire. But down to 400 HP, but no targets to hit. Unleashed has run its course, and 11 will snipe him down. And now Moon trying to get a Snapfire kill. Gets scatter blasted. Cookie to the other direction into the swashbuckle, but Moon is going to be falling as well. And these are more kills for the Brood and for the Morphling to participate in as well. 2 for a team wipe.
Yes, but my god, did it look for a while like they were just gonna 2v4 Lilgun there.
They're going to do it.
And it was way closer to comfortable. And MKS, not done. He wants a piece of the action. He's
Pretty low on mana to help out Ace here.
Yep.
They got the Orchid onto the Slark, and a good mute comes flying in, and MKS.
not again.
Oh, yeah, that's a horrible trade. But that's also a good read from Lilgun to help them out, because they were very low on resources. Not a lot of mana to give. Morphling was also waiting for the time. Can 11 get there in time? And 11 is playing a really, really good game. He's everywhere on this hero. Everywhere where they're forcing fights, the Brood can come.
I'm really wondering if MKS is regretting not going for an Echo Saber at this point. Like, sure, the Diffu is more damage for your buck, but the extra HP, the extra speed in the build-up towards the BKB, those would all be very nice to have right now.
And a nice jump in. They both come out at the same time to take down Ace, and Kishka is going to be falling next as well. Curse to hold Sanctity on the spot. Here comes the Rolling Thunder in the toss, and it's a beautiful combo from SMG. Triple for mid one. And that's a tower going down as well. They might glyph just for a couple extra seconds, but that is a tower definitely going down. 11's just going to be farming in the top lane meanwhile. Mid one just finishing his Basher. He did not get to buy it actually yet. He's just a recipe short. Very close to having it. 11 meanwhile, that's going to be a pretty free kill onto the Wyvern. Going to take a bit of time, but manages to finish it off in the end. Now there's also a Tech East, but no Orchid. Imagine if you could just go from one hero to another. Like, this is not exactly a Slark, and here comes mid one. Good poke coming out. Orchid is there. BKB to purge it off. Mid one wants this kill, but loses vision of the Brood.
No, without having either the Wyvern or Moon there, it's going to be really hard to get this. I wanted to say stinky spider. He's slick, not necessarily stinky.
I'm a bit worried about this Void Spirit, because Sanctity doesn't exactly have the highest farming potential on this Void Spirit. He's very far behind on net worth. So like a lot of these spirits, like some games where you have Embers who fall behind, Void Spirit kind of just falls flat. He has flat damage, and the game just continues to get harder and harder. So this Aghanim's timing is not going to be optimal necessarily, but once he does have it, it is going to be efficient.
Yep. And it's really the only way he's got out of this. I mean, in some way it's also fine, because this game, he is not the one that needs to make the action happen. He's just a follow-up.
Curse Splinter Blast is already there. Mid one with the Unleash, and there's a backup coming in from the Pango, but Marcy just getting torn into pieces. As they got the taunt into it as well. Moon chasing onto Sanctity. Wyvern in trouble. Afu's on the side. MKS is here, but they don't have the curse, but it doesn't matter. Sanctity down. Kishka about to drop as well, as MKS will be clearing him out. Meanwhile, they're trying to find the Techies kill, but they will lose the snap. And now 11 all alone by himself right now. I mean, between 3 heroes and trying to TP, but the stun is there from Afu. And that is just really good from SMG. So the fight basically starts off by SMG countering the invasion attempt from Lilgun into the curse, and things start to roll from there. So mid one gives his life for the greater good.
Yeah, and this is the kind of engagement order that they are looking for. You throw mid one in, you make sure to take the Bane out. And they've been taking the Bane out every single time. In all of these one fights, it's all engage onto the Bane, get the Bane out. Once we do that, we get the maneuverability on our other cores, and the fact that mid one is in too deep and he dies, yeah, sure, whatever. He's got BKB Basher already on his offlaner. He's completely fine. And now MKS gets to clean up.
That also builds MKS into a much more bigger carry as time continues to progress. He's got a BKB now. Things are going to get a bit harder for Lilgun as more and more tools are arriving on the side of SMG. off the snap fire. Sanctity also still building that Aghanim's. He's been doing this for like, what, 6-7 minutes now. He still needs another piece to finish it off. They're planning a smoke by the looks of it, as they're all stacking. Oh, or then they're suspecting a smoke from SMG. And they are pretty correct on it as well. But how long do they keep their patience? How long do they keep their patience? Mid one's ready to go in.
Popped.
Smoke pops. He's looking to go in. Sanctity's already there. They see Marcy's giving the vision. Moon coming in from the side. They're targeting Ace 12. The silence is there. Mid one's already in. And 2 shotting this Bane. And the curse of the Brute as well, all by himself. BKB bash on the first hit from mid one. And TPing on an optimal spot. Marcy can't find him. That's a BKB burnt and a kill that they did find on the Bane. But now we're starting to ponder, was that enough for SMG?
At last, peace may return to these lands.
They got their vision down at the very least, so they can easily invade again. And this also makes the next Roshan attempt much easier, though I doubt they're going to actually want to commit for the Rosh just yet. They seem to be a bit short on damage.
At least mid one still has the BKB up, plus 40 seconds until another Unleash is ready. Mid one chasing for 11. Silence comes out. Now meanwhile, Moon actually goes in. While the time they're still waiting to regroup, but the Yules is going to be there, holding him in place into the taunts from Sanctity. Remnant keeping him busy for the time being. So yeah, that felt odd for a moment. Mid one went out and Moon went in, and there was like a half a second delay in that. But I believe, like, the way you've seen SMG go in, they appear simultaneously with the Marcy and the Pangos.
It's super hard to react to.
Yeah.
The only thing that I want to point out about that fight is the positioning of the Bane, which was about a full screen away from the actual engagement.
Yep.
Which has been proven to be correct.
Nice jump from Abu that allows them to get this fight rolling, and that's going to be a very dead void. They got the Bane, they've got the Brute. This is perfect for SMG.
Oh,
nothing
beautiful.
that Lilgun can do as they're disarmed.
Yeah, disarmed. Well, all 4 limbs have been ripped off. The Morphling is just black knighting. Like, this is just a flesh wound. Shall we call it a draw?
No hands, no arms. Okay, we can call it a draw. We can call it a draw. That was a powerful fight from SMG. Like, that just shows how quick they are. And Afu on this techies, I just love the momentum that SMG has. I don't think I've seen any other team in this group so far act and react as fast as SMG has here in their first game of this tournament. Like, they're really showing the big guns here.
They are. It was a little bit awkward after the end of the laning stage. A couple of deaths on MKS that seemed to be superfluous, but
I
you
guess
know
they're
what?
necessary deaths.
They haven't let it bother them one bit.
Yep, and the Brood doesn't have that much impact now. This is the power spike turning for SMG. Radiant scan. Looking for Afu. He got the Fiend script, but he's so far away, even the Morphling can't get his hands on him. Tip comes out. That's Afu for you. What you gonna do? 4 seconds for TP. Waveform in 2. Who gets out faster?
Oh.
Afu gets out. Meanwhile, 11. Oh, he gets bashed by mid one. And that's a lot of damage from the Unleash kicking in right away.
Oh,
Still
just
chasing.
going.
Oh my goodness. Mid one with the confidence. Bounces back the Spiderlings as well onto the Brood Mother. BKB used so the Mortimers doesn't kill him. MKS on the Aegis. Only uses ult to heal up.
You know, just for anyone who thought that me calling him a psychopath was like an insult or something. No, this it's these kinds of moves.
It is the fear factor. Like, you know, like, you never know what he's gonna do next.
Absolutely crazy.
Living the life. BKB Basher build into the blinks and all. Afu just being the troublemaker that he is. Bullying Sanctity in the mid lane. Void Spirit still hasn't even hit the 10k net worth. And look at this guy still building that Aghanims. Man, this is a grim game for him.
Yeah, I used to have an excuse for him, but by now it's just like, yeah, no, the game has just become too hard.
He's never getting
there. His side laners that, you know, his lack of farm was supposed to buy space for have not actually gone up to speed. It's
Yeah.
literally all up to the Morphling right now.
It is up to the Morphling, yep, and Morphling yet to score a kill this game. He does look like the Aghanims is ready. At least he's got his Aghs, so that will help him a little bit. But how much? How much? 11. BKB used again. They will turn around on the Slark. He is going to get stunned up. No Dark Pack. Age is gone. But that is also BKB out of the Broodmother. And Paulson trying to position himself with a curse if needed. Rolling Thunder, pump faking here by Moon. Now he's going in. Good one. Does find Kishka. They've got the Broodmother controlled. The Fiend Script's going to be there as well to hold Marcy into place. And now MKS finds Ace 12. Sanctus on the other side with the DD on this Void Spirit. This is looking like a decent attempt here from Lilgun. But they are needing to regroup and they need to get some damage out quickly as they're fighting against the Slark. There's the Leash coming in as well. Morphling getting surrounded. Everybody from SMG stacking on top of him. Take him down. Going for Kishka. Make them suffer. SMG takes 4 again, and Sanctity, he's got his Aghs.
Yeah, that was so painful. They didn't even find the Bane first that time. Mid one actually beating the wrong person, but it didn't matter. At this point, they're just too far ahead. Mid one being disabled for 5 seconds in the middle of all of that was not a problem for SMG, who tanked it.
Quite some work here. Solo kill. That's the power of the Aghanims there. Silenced and taunted. Nobody can do nothing. Forces them away.
If only he had that last fight.
If only he had that last fight. Man, that would have been so influential. But yeah, that's a quick 2,000 damage burst onto several heroes and getting a kill on the mid one with Marcy.
They're not quitting out,
they're not going out. They're coming back in. MKS to walk onto the taunt, purchase the way with the Dark Pack. They have to keep on the fight. The Bane's going to be there. Morphling also leashing up the Slark. Kishka coming in with the stun. They want to get MKS. They will get MKS. Now they also got the Winter Wyvern, which is going to be another. Going for Lilgun.
And SMG feels like they're not entirely in control of this wild ride that they're on. It's like they're riding a wild horse, and sometimes it's going well and they're the fastest on the plains, and sometimes they're bucking and getting thrown off. Like, wait for mid one. That's the one fights right there. Mid one onto the Bane.
It's a small glimpse of hope for Lilgun. Able to move out of their base onto the hunt for more. They know it's 5 versus 3. Again, the Lotus Orb from Moon. Able to move that Orchid out of the way to keep Afu up. And that also forces Lilgun to start the retreat once again. I mean, they can at least take control of the map for a bit. Farm for the time being. But it is still a 7,000 gold deficit that they have to play against SMG.
Could have been worth it to see if they could push through the backdoor regen on the top tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
If you do that, you get a possibility at an outpost there. But
they're pretty blind on the map. Oh, see, they see 11. And here we go again. Afu misses the stun. But the Rolling Thunder is going to be there with the Unleash from mid one, and Afu blows him up with the mines. Ace is being targeted. Snapfire is being targeted. Both of the supports are in trouble and in peril. Paulson dropping low to Sanctity. Sanctity trying to make some work here. Is able to get one out of the way, but he's got all of his spells on cooldown. He needs to do something. But what is that something that you can do? Again, another pounce. This is so painful. It's a slow, bleeding death for the Void Spirit. 5 seconds is all he needs, but he's out of mana. He's got 5 stick charges. Looking for another jump to safety. He just got a cooldown, but he's already dead. And that's 4 gone again.
And it really feels like Lilgun is reliant by now on SMG messing up their initiation somehow. The surprise factor of the Aghanim Scepter on the Void Spirit is gone. And as long as they can spread the damage, spread out their fight, get their different heroes onto different targets, SMG is fine.
Yeah.
They'll lose the Wyvern. Okay.
So, that's a lot of deaths on every hero in the game, but still the one thing that is haunting here is 4-2-3 and no kills. He gets to do damage, yes, but with all the control that's going around, it's either 11 or even now Sanctity with that Aghanims capable of disrupting enough to lead those damages. into actual kills. But for the Morphling, he's still empty-handed. He wants the butterfly. That should help him out.
Switched out of Discardie as well, which is something that would do better for him in the matchup versus the Slark regen reduction. But unfortunately for him, his team's lacking damage right now. And the butterfly, probably the most efficient way to get that going right now. Unless you want to go E-Blade. E-Blade seems very risky this game.
Yeah, it does. They smoked up right behind the Broodmother. Looking for a wraparound. Afu's also going to be walking into Ace, and the mines are going to be there, showing the vision. Doesn't quite show enough on the Bane. But now that these wards are being placed down, they recognize their location, and SMG continuing to hold the superior high ground position.
They will not let that go. Just gonna sit there, move 2 lanes.
Yep.
Back and forth until Roche respawns.
It does feel like Lilgun is standing between the high ground and the lava pools.
And they can get picked off at any moment. Like, Moon's not afraid to get into their face. Neither is Mid-One. If they find a pick-off, they will take it. And they will leave Roche for what it is and immediately take your base, because they have 2 waves pushed in.
Another wraparound. Second smoke. Does this one lead into anything? Afu's position, very good. Hiding in the trees. They see Moon is somewhere about. Sanctity rolling in right on top of the money. They've got a ton of 2. And the Mortimer's Kisses are going to be blowing up Afu and Moon. Lilgun, quick 2 kills. And the rest of SMG disengaging as soon as they can. Perfect from Sanctity. It's a wild guess. He sees the projectiles from the swashbuckles somewhere about that area, but it's right on the money.
I'll take that.
He finds Paulison. He's going to go for it. The rest of them aren't as nimble and as fast as Sanctity is, so it's going to take them some time to get there. Kishka, Cookie, with that improved Cookie distance range, going to have to let Sanctity stand still for a second. Take this Cookie and fly further. And Roshan 6.
Excellent.
They just checked it's not up, but do they go again to check it out? Kishka or Ace?
Yeah,
Ace is going to walk in.
Park yourself in the pit.
Okay,
exactly.
he stayed in the pit for just long enough so that they know that Roche is up.
And they know Mid-One is on the bottom side of the map as well. They know MPS made his way out. This is beautiful.
Nothing that SMG can do.
You were saying they were between a rock and the lava pools, but they just waded straight through the lava pools, man. They come out as winners.
Gliding and sliding.
Yeah, the only thing that I'd have to say here is that Morphling bought a BKB instead of the butterfly, activated it, and it did nothing for him.
Somebody was smart
But,
enough
you know.
to spot the floating obsidian in the lava and just found a detour.
Yeah, in video game logic, I'm sure somebody had like a bucket of ice with them or something.
Yeah, I mean, they have a Morphling, so I guess they just
Yeah.
dumped 4-2-3 in the river, like, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice you to cool this down so we can go. Alright, SMG, they have a smoke on Afu, they have a smoke on Paulson. They have 2 smokes, actually, so they will use one here. And go for another. Lilgun. They've been happy to take over the jungle, but is it gonna come at a cost? 4-2-3 into the loving arms of SMG. Stacked up right in front of the Morph
they're
Ace.
embracing
Paulson
him.
on the side. They've got the Morph dropping low and taken down. And Lilgun, they were not ready for this fight. Not one bit. Kishka, he's being chased. They've got another one going on the side as they want Sanctity. BKB up on the high ground, able to get out. Ace is TPing away as well. Kishka, Cookie. No TP for him as it's already been cancelled. So that is 2 for SMG.
A bit rash.
Could have been worse. They did lose the Morphling, but they could have lost a whole lot more.
They lost the Morphling. They lost the Morphling twice, which is the Aegis that they fought so hard for. At least he kept it out of the hands of SMG, I guess, but that was brutal. They thought they had a grip into the game, and SMG just said, "Long live the king," and yeeted them off the cliff.
Yep. Moon gonna be able to defend bottom, sort of the top lane as MKS finishes the bottom tower. There's no more tier 2s remaining for Lilgun. Every lane is now open for a mega creep push. You also know that. Buyback status? Something they're gonna have to start considering at this stage of the game. They do have 3. Holding on to a lot of current gold is the Morphling. Brood has a bit. Pango has 3.5k. What is he getting? Oh, he's saving up for BKB and buyback.
Yeah. Right now he's got everything that he could possibly want, which is the
Oh,
Boots
they
of
found
Travel.
Sanctity. Mules is there though. But there's a lot of people arriving. And the first hit flash again from mid one and the mines. Good night. And Bane, 2-shot again by mid one. We've seen this story before.
Well, it was a nightmare draft, alright, but I also think we found out whose nightmare this is.
No buybacks on these two heroes. They're the only ones out of the list of buybacks we just checked a minute ago. So this is a pretty free push for SMG. He's got unable to do much as 11's already getting jumped on. He does get the BKB off, but how much can he do with it? Absolutely nothing. He's got dead to the curse. And 4-2-3 going to be hunted as well. And he's standing his ground. He is actually man-fighting all the way through, but the Mortimer's Kiss is flying in as well. The waveform back to the fountain. SMG continuing on with this Unleash now running out for mid one. Just a matter of seconds. Still got it up for a little bit longer. Nice swashbuckle. Moon making some really big plays. 11 down. Kishka dead. They just spawned only to die again. Diebacks on the side of Lilgun and your base in shambles.
Diebacks galore. I don't see how you hold this anymore. The reach that they have on these flat open spaces is just absurd on SMG. You show your nose and they'll bite it off. Yeah. This is war. This is violence. I really think if you saw mid one right now, I bet his eyes were like bloodshot.
Yeah, war isn't always as pretty as it looks. Sanctity again. He's done these plays a couple times, but he has to use both of his steps just for a bit of a poke. Just for a bit of a poke.
And there's the Megas.
There's the Megas. 26k for SMG. It feels literally unlosable now for SMG. SMKS with the slow on Sanctity. He's got his BKB, able to walk back in. Again, another defensive move for Lilgun as their people, their players, their team is about to respawn. Beam script on the Marcy, cancelled by the curse. And that's a dead Bane, and I believe SMG has got this one in the bag. Take game one.
And not a smooth ride by any means, but if you play a brawly lineup like this, it's almost impossible to play it smoothly, and they just took all of the humps and bumps in stride. There's a couple of times that they needed to recatch themselves after messing up, where, like, really nice to see actually, because it was very clear that no, it did not bother them in the slightest that the train sometimes went off the rails. They just put it right back on and kept on going choo-choo.
Powerful game from SMG. This is their first appearance in the tournament and already racking up some pretty wild numbers. But this this trio of Midone, Afu, Moon, man, are they fast. Like just showing some real offline tournament speed and initiation, which is something that captivates the viewer as well, that they are very fast when they want to do something. It's not the one guy showing up in a half a second, another one shows up to help out. They're like, we saw many instances where they're instantly on top of the opponent to blow them up. Simultaneous. And that is min-maxing. That is optimizing. That is just
optimizing.
very, very good from SMG.
I want to give like a special little shout out to Pelosin here and like contrast him with Ace, because both of them have roughly the same task, right? To disrupt enemy initiation and then take over towards the other way, like enable your team to do that. And of course, Ace is the harder job here. He's not an AoE hero. His ranges are a lot shorter. But he also got targeted down really hard and had trouble finding a way out of that. Whereas Pelosin, sure, he died 8 times, but frankly, with how hard he was getting hunted, that's not a lot. And they didn't manage to actually take him down nearly as often as they should have, which made it really hard for Lilgun to actually find a secure fight. They needed to get that Wyvern out, and they just didn't manage to do so.
And that also wraps up the first game of the series. SMG is on a very good roll here in their first game. Can they keep that tempo up? We'll find out in about 10 minutes.